In this video, we're going to look at a couple of Knack's settings. Now, Knack has a lot of customizable settings, but for those of you that have kind of eagle eyes, you may have noticed in the last video that when I added this table of companies, I actually mistakenly called it projects. So on the left hand side, you can see that the top level page is named projects. So I'd like to change this, and I can either change it here on the drop down on page settings, or I can change it on this drop down here and go into the same place. So the page settings, I can change the name, so I'm going to call it companies. I'm also going to change the page URL. This is what will show in the URL in the browser. It's worth noting that if you put any uppercase characters in here, Knack will reformat it for you so that it's compliant to a URL. And I'm simply going to click Save Settings. You can now see that my top level page is now correctly called Companies. In the live app preview, you can see that we have an edit link and a view link to take us to view the company details. On both of these links, you have a little orange icon which enables you to navigate to the page. So if I was to click on this orange icon for the edit, it will take me to this edit company page here in the tree structure on the left hand side. So I'm just going to go back to the companies view. So if I click on that, it will take me to this page and it will highlight it on the left. So this is really useful for navigation, so you can make sure that it's easy for you to move around the application while you're building. In the live app, because I just simply added the edit and view links in the previous video, they're just text, and I would like these to be buttons. And I can set that at a global level, so every time I add another table and I add a page with edit and details links, that they're a button rather than text. So to do that, go back into the builder and go into settings and go to live app design. There's various sections here, but we're going to be looking for the bottom one here, which is view links. And under the view links, this relates to these sections: the page link, an action link, and a delete link. Now, a page link is what we've already created, which is either an edit or a details view. So, but action links we haven't covered. These are to complete an action, and delete links obviously to delete. So we want to specifically format this page link. So we have page, action, and delete, and on the left hand side we have page, action, and delete sections. So at the moment the page links are just set to legacy, but I'd like this to actually be a fill instead. So if I click on fill, and you can now see that I've got a grey button. So I'd like to have this in a different color. So you can select the text color and the fill color. So on the fill color, you can click on the color picker, but I actually do know the hex code, which is a blue. But now, as you can see here, I've got a kind of a blue and blue button. So I need to change my text color, and I'm just going to click on here and bring that up to white. So I now have white text on a blue button. I'd like the text options to be that it's uppercase. You could also have some other options such as round corners. You can have it raised, which is quite nice. It gives it kind of a drop shadow effect. So I'm going to turn my round corners off and have it raised. And you can also add a default icon from a list of different icons here if you want to have an icon on the button. On this one, I don't. So I'm going to save that. And that will be my default button style for every link, whether it's an edit or a view. So now coming back to the live app, I've just done a browser refresh, and you can now see the buttons showing here. As mentioned, this is just one section of 5 with lots of different settings, and this all comes under the live app design. But while we're here, I'm just going to go back to the settings and look at the actual application or the app settings. So I've already updated these, but just to run through, I've given my app a name, I've updated the URL, so this is what will appear in the address bar when logging in. I've given it a brief description, I've added my email address, and this is the email address to which Knack will send it from. So when Knack's sending an email, this is the address it will be sending it on behalf of. I've put my email address in here also for any technical notifications that Knack need to contact me about, and I've set my time zone and country. That's all we're going to do in this video. We'll come back to the settings later on.